Family is forever. Welcome to Hype You Suffer.
Wish it wasn't.
Bad, yeah, same. Bad tagline. The tagline for the other Halloween was real fucking bad, too. You could tell it was fucking the Weinsteins.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Rob Zombie's like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Just fucking get
Yeah,
this
I
shit
don't
out.
give a fuck. Just let me look at my wife.
Yeah. Trying to make her look hot and white in bright lights, I guess. I don't know. Fucking horse. Yeah, this is the 4th episode of me watching all of Rob Zombie's movies in like a month for some reason.
Foolish.
Uh,
Absolutely foolish.
got a hot take. Think I might be a Rob Zombie fan again.
Oh, no.
Well, okay, so I think this is probably the last of the good ones, or the ones that I think are like totally watchable.
Yeah.
It's all gonna be downhill after this.
Oh, yeah. You're going to hit 31 and you're going to be like, oh, never mind.
That's the one I keep being like, oh my god, I can't fucking believe I have to rewatch that. But so far, House of a Thousand Corpses was fine. It's fucking a mess, but like not unwatchable.
I've never finished it.
It like I loved it when it first came out, but that was like I've talked about it on here. I was like that was at a point where I was like, you guys don't understand. I like underground cinema, like Evil Dead. You know, like that dude. So, like, I wasn't exactly like, you know, fucking Mr. Underground at that point. I was just like, oh man, this is fucking cool. And then Devil's Rejects still holds up. It's fucking just endlessly bleak the whole time, but like, pretty good.
That's the only one I remember, like, actually being good.
And, like, I think the director's cut of his, like, the first Halloween is like totally fine. It's not like it's not like the fucking original or anything, but like completely watchable. It was his own take, like, you know. But I'll take his version of Halloween over like, hey, there's a fucking cult controlling Michael Myers and like everything, and like just how fucking convoluted most of those sequels are. But I've been a proponent that his Halloween 2 is his secret masterpiece because it's fucking weird and like honestly maybe the most like biggest swing I think he's taken.
Oh,
at least
I'll
so
agree
far.
with that for sure.
Like I have not seen Lords of Salem yet. That's the one everyone's just like, you're gonna love Lords of Salem, so like we'll see.
That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, but this one, like, I've always been like, you know what, like, say what you want to say about like his directing style, like his casting, whatever. But like, like this is probably the like most original Halloween sequel, remake, whatever. Like it's fucking baffling and weird, and like he made it. They like was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stick with it, and like made it, and like it's. Like, if anything, I fully fucking appreciate him just being like, no, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want with it. And then, I'm upset. Did you watch just, like, whatever was on, like, Pluto?
Yeah,
okay.
Whichever version that was.
Yeah, so the theatrical cut. The director's cut, again, much better ending. All of them die in the end, except for Brett Dourif. Like, he specifically was like, if I'm making this, I'm ending this, and has Michael, Loomis, and Laurie all killed in the end.
Oh, perfect.
So, like...
Maybe I'll watch that one.
Yeah, like, that's not much different. It's just the ending is, like, Michael grabs Loomis, and instead of, like, stabbing him in the shack, he, again, bursts through a fucking wall with Loomis. My favorite thing in
walls.
these. God, dude, every time he bursts through a wall, I'm like,
him.
this is fucking perfect. I want Michael Myers, just this massive ass Michael Myers just bursting through shit constantly. But he like, so they're in the field, and he like, I don't know, doesn't have his mask on, I think, or pulls it off, and he says die, and it's like the only time Michael Myers has like ever spoken as an adult, and goes, I think he like stabs Loomis a couple times and gets shot by the police, and then Lori comes out and like grabs the knife in like a weird like daze or whatever, and gets shot by a couple police, and they all just die in the field. So
Hell yeah.
better ending, I think, than vague. She's in an asylum that like the Weinsteins demanded that there be a. She has to live because we might want to do another sequel.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah. So I guess what is your history with old Robbie Zombie?
I actually don't really know. I mean, I hear his music on the radio, and I liked his music. I thought it was fun. And then I remember in high school, it was before high school. No, it had to be tail end of high school. When the original Halloween came out, I was like, that looks sick as fuck. Then I didn't really have an appreciation for the original.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like never went and saw either of them. And then, everyone talked about House of a Thousand Corpses being super awesome. I never watched that either. And then I watched Devil's Rejects, and I was like, hey, this is pretty good. And then I tried watching. Yeah, I tried watching House of a Thousand Corpses and was like, this shit sucks.
So,
and I think that's how every other movie of his I've tried to watch has gone. I stopped halfway through and I'm like, this shit sucks.
The thing about House of a Thousand Corpses is my take on it is that like it feels like a movie where like, well, there was like this 3-year fucking gap between like Universal dropping it and then Lionsgate picking it up, where he just kind of like fucked with it, and I think it just got like messed with too much. But like it feels like a movie where he was like, this may be my only chance to ever make a movie, so I'm throwing every idea I've ever had into it. And it just becomes this like weird fucking mess. Like, have you seen the ending of that movie?
No. I made it to whenever he reveals Rainn Wilson as Fish Boy or whatever. And that's about as far as I make it every time.
Like, the last 30 minutes of that movie becomes like this weird fucking Alice in Wonderland fucking underground nightmare where this like woman's dressed up in like a blue, like one of the two women in the movie is in like a blue dress in this like underground catacombs and runs across like Dr. Satan, and like it's real weird, and like it's not like terrible, it's just it's like if he made a music video that was like a fucking hour and 40 minutes. Like you see it in like the first section of that movie, like there's all these weird like interstitials and like shit like just randomly thrown in there. There's like an entire scene of like cops in the movie driving around, but it's in this like solar flare fucking negative like a filter on the screen. There's like I guess there was an entire subplot about like a skunk ape in the movie that he cut out, except for like one random scene of this old couple talking to a camera about how like the skunk ape assaulted his wife. It's fucking real weird, and like
if he had kept in the skunk ape thing, I would be a stan.
Absolutely. Like, and I think like when Shane and I talked about it for these, like my biggest takeaway is like I think one of the biggest problems I have with that movie is every single person is unlikable in it, except for like Sid Haig. Yeah. Like, and like, you're supposed, like, Bill Moseley's fine as Otis. I think he's like perfectly cast as Otis, but like he's not Devil's Rejects Otis in it. Yeah. And so it just kind of becomes a thing where I'm just like, I don't know, I guess I'm rooting for the fucking Firefly family, but like that's just because Chris Hardwick is the worst, Rainn Wilson sucks, and the two girls are so fucking like nothing in the movie.
I forgot Chris Hardwick was a Rob Zombie guy, and it really caught me off guard seeing him in Halloween 2.
I forgot he was in it too.
I was like, what the fuck?
But then I was like, well, at least Weird Al's there. And so that's the thing with both of these movies, is they clearly are supposed to be in like the 70s and 80s. But Rob Zombie's like, I refuse to say what like time period it's in. But then like Weird Al's talking about fucking Austin Powers in it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Because like every other aspect of it, it's like everyone's on like landlines, there's no cell phones. Like,
what if in universe he wrote Austin Powers?
Oh man, Honestly, Austin Powers might be better. It had better songs. Yeah, I don't know. So overall, so far, I've been like, hey, this is like not terrible. But I know, like, I don't know. I know I've seen his animated movie, and that's what I'm doing next. And I don't really remember
Oh, I
anything.
forgot he did that.
Yeah, I don't really remember anything about it. And I can't imagine that's going to be, like, too
Good.
fucking terrible. I don't think it's going to be great, but, like, I'll be like, that's fine. Because I think it's only, like, an hour long or some shit. So, like, who cares? After that, it's like, it's just a run
all
of
of his
fucking
shit was
trash.
an hour long, like,
Yeah, so
there'd
that's
be no problems.
I think that's my biggest gripe with both of his Halloweens. Is I'm like, why are they both like 2 hours?
God, this one, those commercial breaks from Pluto. I don't know about you, but I had like 20 commercial breaks. I was like, Jesus Christ, just the movie's long enough as is. I don't need this.
Yeah, that's my big issue with fucking Pluto is that like there's so many commercial breaks and they're so long. But like, I don't know. I watched it at work, so I was getting paid. I don't care.
Oh yeah. I'd love Rob Zombie if I was getting paid to watch him.
Yeah. Like his first Halloween, it's like almost 50 minutes before like adult Michael Myers is in it. And so like it becomes kind of a fucking slog, but the second half is, pretty good cuz I'm here for I like the Tyler Mane Michael Myers, and I like especially in like in Halloween 2, I like that like how fucking brutal he is.
I'll say he's very much got the like Kane Hodder Jason, like, oh, that's an unstoppable presence. Like, he's gonna fuck up anything directly in front of him.
And one of the things watching this, because I had not, like, the thing about these so far is, like, I hadn't seen House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects in, like, 20 years, probably. And both of these I had rewatched, but then, like when I think Halloween Ends was coming out. But it was one of those ones where I just kind of, like, put it on at work and wasn't fully paying attention to, because I was like, I've seen them before, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, like, actually, like, rewatching them this time, like, it was kind of baffling to me how many people were like, well, I love Halloween Kills because, like, Michael Myers is, like, so fucking vicious in it. And I'm like, have you watched Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? Because this dude is just brutally stabbing people fucking endlessly. Like
stomping on what's-his-name's head.
Oh, man. That's my favorite death of the entire Halloween franchise, to be honest. That whole scene at the strip club rocks.
That's so good. Are you going to take out the trash?
Like, so my favorite fucking bit of trivia I have learned in all of these rewatches is that he talks about in the commentary that he hires that dude who gets his head stomped in specifically because he is the head caveman in the Geico caveman commercials, and Rob Zombie apparently loves those commercials. Which is the funniest fucking thing to me. Because I picture
incredible.
Like I just picture like he's got fucking 35 millimeter prints of like the 5 fucking episodes of the TV show they made probably.
Oh yeah.
That was such a fucking weird thing I heard him say that I blurted out laughing listening to the commentary. I was like, that's so fucking weird.
Excuse me?
Yeah, so I guess like overall, what did you think of Halloween 2?
I thought it was okay. Like, I think it's definitely his most interesting film.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that's a terribly high bar.
Considering everything else is Devil's Rejects again and again and again.
It is. It's very, like, hallucinatory and dreamlike in a lot of its stuff. And it never feels like you fully got your feet underneath you. And I do like some of the stuff that he kind of plays around with, like Loomis being like kind of a rock star hotshot who is like responsible for the creation of Michael Myers and trying to like profit off of that, and everyone just being like, hey, you're a fucking prick, fuck off.
Yeah, so like the thing I like about the director's cut over this is like there's a little bit more of like the Loomis shit, and then there's a lot more stuff about Laurie clearly having like massive PTSD and like trauma that is like essentially like consuming her.
Yeah.
And it like it makes a lot of the more sort of like hallucinogenic shit make sense, because there's a scene in like in both of them that it just feels like a throwaway thing in theatrical cut, because all of the other shit tying to it is cut out, of her like being out of pills because she's like taking too many of them and is like run out of her like monthly allotment of like whatever her meds are, and it's like causing her to like, there's like a whole scene where she's at like her therapist and she's like, oh, you know, like I've had like this like 0 to 100 rage now, and it's like this shit that's kind of like tying her to sort of the like Myers family shit. And like, I don't know, I think that he does like a better job in like the director's cut of like dealing with some of the themes. And like it's, again, he talks about, I guess he's talked about a lot in the last couple years about how badly the Weinsteins fucked over both of these movies.
Yeah.
Where like the first time he was like, you know, I made the first one and I didn't really want to, but like I talked to John Carpenter. John Carpenter was like, man, I have fucking zero ties to anything but that first one and barely the second one. And he was like, I sold the rights to that shit a long time ago. He's like, my only thing is if you're gonna make it, he's like, just make it your own movie. Which like he did. Like, as much as
100%,
whatever you could say about like your enjoyment of like Rob Zombie's Halloween movies, like
they're definitely Rob Zombie movies.
Yeah, they don't feel anything like any of the ones in like the regular sort of like whatever fucking timeline.
Yeah.
And so he was like, all right, he's like, I made it, and he was like, it sucked, and he's like, I didn't want to do another one, but he was like, I was like, all right, he's like, they fucked with me a bunch of the first one because they wanted to make sure it was a hit, and then it was a hit. So he's like, they'll probably leave me alone. And he was like, instead, they fucked with me double as much and would like show me clips from the first Halloween to be like, hey, like, you know, like this. And he's like, why are you showing me this? I made that movie. I know what's in it. And he like, I guess there was like shit where like they had like 2 days. I think all of the shit they filled with like Richard Brake, that like big ass like car accident and like death scene and shit.
Yeah.
They went to ship the film and like the whatever airport security or whatever put it through an x-ray and fucked up all of it. So they had to redo all of that shit. Like at like, I guess like the first week of filming, the Weinsteins cut 2 weeks off his schedule. So he had to just like be like, well, I guess here's fucking 40 pages I'm not shooting. And like all this shit. So it's just like a fuck, like the fact that this movie is even like remotely put together and watchable is like a minor miracle.
Yeah, a miracle.
He was like almost every, because I guess they shot the first one in California and they shot this one in Georgia, and like everything like that could go wrong went wrong. Like almost like they ended up shooting at like whatever time of the year where he was like, there was like almost zero nighttime. Like by the time we'd get set up and start shooting, the sun would be coming out.
Oh yeah.
And then he was like, almost every fucking day it rained, so we had to go fucking then buy like water or like rain machines, because like, okay, well it's raining in like half the scenes, we might as well make it fucking raining in all of them.
Right.
Just like shit like that. He was just like, it was a fucking nightmare to make this movie. And like, I don't know, as much as it seems like he hated it and I don't know, everyone else, I think this for me might be, well, okay, besides his Werewolf Women of the SS, this is his best movie.
Right.
Because that trailer, clearly the best thing he's ever made.
Yes, 100% agreed. We should have gotten that full movie instead of Over with a Shotgun or Thanksgiving.
That's what I like. Jeremy and I talked about it last week for the Halloween episode, because it came out. It's like, I think it was made right before Halloween came out, and I was like, it's fucking maddening to me that we got like all of the other movies from those trailers.
Yeah, Machete.
Except this one, because this is clearly the best one.
Yeah. It feels so in his wheelhouse.
Oh my god! Like, I'm sure it would have costed so much money, and like, I don't know. I would still go watch that movie now. Make it now. I'm in. Like it's the best trailer.
It's not too late.
Yeah. Fuck, like, do anything to get fucking Thanksgiving out of here, please. I just less Eli Roth forever.
Yeah. 100%.
So yeah, this movie seemed like a fucking mess to make. His entire commentary, he's just like, Well, every scene in this movie except for the stuff with Loomis was a fucking headache to make because at least all the Loomis stuff is in like a nice fancy hotel or like a restaurant or whatever.
Inside,
Yeah.
where it's not raining.
And I guess like it was a whole thing where like Michael McDowell like his like contract wasn't signed until the day before he started filming. So there was also like a thing where he was like, I don't know what's going on with these fucking contract disputes. I don't even know if Michael, like, I got a fucking Loomis now.
Fucking Malcolm McDowell strikes me as like a really weird, like eccentric kind of dude. And I don't know how true that is. It's just purely based on vibes. He seems like a Lance Henriksen type.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Except that he plays like the same character in almost every movie now. Instead of like Lance Henriksen, who's like, I'm gonna do 3 months of fucking research for this 45-second cameo I have.
To play an octopus.
I'm gonna go live with an octopus for fucking 5 years. What do you think about Michael McDowell versus Donald Pleasance?
I mean, they're such wildly different takes on the character, like, because Donald Pleasance is like absolutely fucking terrified out of his mind about all of it, and he's so skittish and just like, oh Jesus Christ. And then Malcolm McDowell is like, man, I don't really give a shit, like, fuck you, pay me, like, I'm just here for my books, whatever.
Yeah, like
this shit ain't nothing to me, man.
I also like, it's one of those things where like I don't know who, like, Michael McDowell is such a like perfect casting choice. That if you're going to like replace Donald Pleasance, like I honestly don't even know who else I would think of in like that role at this point besides those
Lance
two.
Henriksen.
Fucking CGI Ian Holm as Dr. Loomis.
Oh my god. You joke about it. The fucking Fede Alvarez Halloween sequel.
Man,
it's gonna happen.
Jeremy and I were talking about like how fucking crazy it is at this point that no one has been like, Rob Zombie, make a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Right, that does seem like
like no one else is like making good ones, so
thing.
Like fucking go for it. Like it's either that or my pitch was like they should give Rob Zombie a Universal monster movie, but it has to be either The Mummy or fucking Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah,
and just make it fucking weird. I want to hear Creature from the Black Lagoon call somebody a cocksucker. Cast his wife as the Mummy. Like, let's go for it. Do it. Yeah, so like this movie, like, I don't know, like the theatrical cut, like that's the one I watched this time. I had seen the director's cut before, and the commentary that somebody uploaded to YouTube that I listened to was for the director's cut. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember all this shit. Because I saw this in a theater, and this was probably the last one of his movies that I watched, like, out of, I don't know, hoping it's good. Because, like, 31, I was just like, I don't know, this looks like fucking dog shit, and it was on Shudder for free, so I watched it. And then The Munsters, I was like, I guess I have to watch this.
I thought Munsters was pretty fun, to be honest.
I don't know. I'm hoping I have a better fucking time on a rewatch, but I did not enjoy it the first time. But I am fucking dreading 31. And 3 from Hell I still haven't watched, but I'm based on everyone's reaction to that, I was like, yeah, this is probably gonna be fucking terrible.
I think you'll enjoy Munsters way more now, knowing that Herman is the lead Geico caveman.
I thought Herman was Roebuck.
Yeah, it's the same.
No,
right?
No. So the guy he stomps his head in, Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeff Daniel Phillips.
Yeah,
is he not a?
He's the caveman. Daniel Roebuck is who Herman is, right?
No, Daniel Roebuck is the Count.
Oh,
Jeff
was
Phillips
it?
Is Herman.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I don't know. Never mind. I don't know why I thought it was the other way around. They're both in that scene. Who cares?
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. For some reason, I was like, yeah, Daniel Roebuck's Herman, but yeah, I guess you're right. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at a picture of him. Yeah, never mind. You're right. God, this movie's too neon green and shit. I hate it. I'm fucking dreading that. Have you seen Three from Hell?
No.
Oh God, the fact that everyone I know that fucking loved, like, 5-star House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects was like, this is dog shit. I'm fucking dreading it.
Oh wow.
It's also
Even
one
if
that,
even those people are like, yeah, no, it's real bad.
yeah, it's also one where I'm just like, the only thing I'm interested in is I want to be like, how are these people still alive? Because they got shot by a billion bullets after being tortured for fucking hours in
Right?
Devil's Rejects. I don't fucking know how this is
I
gonna
don't
happen, but
I don't remember a lot from Devil's Rejects, but I remember Freebird and a very extended shootout
oh
sequence.
yeah, they very specifically like show them getting riddled with bullets, and like previous to that, like the sheriff was like torturing the shit out of them for like hours. So they
Well, they are from hell.
that's true. Um, what do you think about the fucking hospital dream scene in this?
Uh, you'll have to be more
You know
specific. I don't
how like
exactly remember.
and it's basically the beginning of this movie is like Lori
Oh, okay.
waking up
Where
and
he's like,
stalking her throughout the hospital and shit.
yeah.
Because I haven't watched Halloween 2 in like a long time, like the the original Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Isn't the beginning of that Jamie Lee Curtis in the hospital and she gets killed
It's
supposedly?
I don't think she gets
For some
killed, but
reason,
I
in
mean
my
that
memory,
is
that's what it was. But
almost that's like the entirety of Halloween 2 is she's in the hospital and he's
that's
stalking her
right.
through
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. That's right. I forgot that's the
Because it takes a while for him to get there, but that is most of the movie is they're just in the hospital and he's trying to kill her in it.
right. I
So it is kind of fun that they just condensed all of Halloween 2 into
like
the
15
first
minutes.
like 10 minutes.
I kind of like this scene. I like you have like a little cameo from Octavia Butler. Who
Oh
I
yeah.
fucking forgot was in this, and then Caroline
She might
Williams.
have she might have surprised me more than Weird Al, to be honest.
I know.
I was like, excuse me,
I
what?
don't know if Rob Zombie's had a black person in one of his movies yet. So, well, besides Ken Foray, who's been in 2 of them, but outside of that, I'm like struggling to think if any other non-white person has been in these movies so far.
Not terribly diverse with his casting.
Yeah, he gets a lot of fucking like his first Halloween. As I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, this is like the fucking Expendables of like horror people. It's crazy how many people are in that movie. Like, there's like he brings back Bill Moseley for like a scene in theatrical cut. I can't think of her name. The woman who played not Karen Black, Mother Firefly, the one from the Devil's Rejects.
Oh.
The fucking cop that gets shot. That's not Walter Goggins from House of a Thousand Corpses is in it. Ken Foray, Dee Wallace, fucking, Malcolm McDowell clearly, obviously is there. Sid Haig's in it. I think, like, literally everybody from Devil's Rejects and like House of a Thousand Corpses has popped up in both of these movies now, except Brian Posehn, which is a fucking travesty.
Man, more Brian Posehn.
I forgot he was in Devil's Rejects, and I was like, "Hey, there's Brian Posehn." Oh, never mind, he's dead.
Ooh, JK.
But it's very funny because his death is he comes walking in the room, and like Otis just like makes him get on his knees, and he's like, "Roy, help!" and just gets shot in the face.
Yeah.
I like this hospital scene. I think it's like pretty well done in the theatrical cut. Or in the director's cut. I can't remember if this was in like the theatrical one. There's like an entire scene where like Laurie stumbles into the basement and there's just fucking like 30 bodies just fucking dead piled up in there. That like Michael has just slowly gone through the hospital, killed everyone, and for some reason dragged them in there.
Into the basement.
And Rob Zombie was just like, "Yeah, it's just like a thing I thought about doing on the day, so we just like made it happen." I'm like, "Cool." It's just so much of his commentaries are just like, "Yeah, this wasn't in the script. I was just like, I thought this would be a cool visual, so I just shot it and like put it in the director's cut."
It's like in Skyrim, you see the guys that like they steal every wheel of cheese in a city and put it into a house.
Hey, I mean, who doesn't want to live in a house of cheese?
I'm saying.
I think my favorite scene in this movie, based on how much I like him, bursting through walls as him bursting through all four walls of the fucking shack that Laurie
Yeah.
ends up hiding in.
Yes.
I was like, this is great. This is my favorite thing. Because, like, the entire second half of the first Halloween is just, like, Laurie and him in that fucking dilapidated house and him just bursting through every fucking wall and ceiling of that house.
Yes.
I was like, this rocks every time it happens. Like, the one thing I really like about, like, the Tyler Bane version is that dude is, like, 6'8". So he's tall as
Enormous.
fuck. And then, like, Daniel Harris is, like, 5'4" or some shit. And fucking Scout is, like, very short. So, like, he just looks so fucking imposing next to everybody.
It's like that scene with Jeff Daniel Phillips outside of the strip club.
Yeah.
Like, when it pans back and they're face to face, Tyler Mane is a good bit taller than him. And I was like, that's crazy because Jeff Daniel Phillips is fucking tall.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Tyler Bane was a wrestler. I think so. Like, I heard on either one of the commentaries or like a fucking making of or something. So
I think so.
It makes sense. And like, I guess in this movie specifically, there's like numerous times where they were supposed to, like, that shack was supposed to be made of like balsa wood, and somebody was just made a regular shack, and so he was just like took it as a challenge to get himself through all of those walls. And shit like that. Like, there's numerous times in the movie he was like, yeah, they were supposed to build this out of like a breakaway wall, and they just built a fucking reinforced wall, and Tyler was like, I'm getting through this thing. It just made it happen. It sounds like literally everyone. I guess there's like in some podcast he's talked about, he's like 99% sure people on set were like embezzling money out of the fucking budget from this movie and shit. Like, it just sounds like everyone on every front was just like trying to fuck him over making this movie. I'm just like, yeah, I guess I see why he immediately was like, never again. I'm never doing one of these ever again. Everyone's dead at the end. Fuck it.
Right? Yeah. It was like the final day of filming. He was like, wait, I've got an idea. I'm going to fucking kill him.
What if he's going to do Halloween 3 and the only person that's going to be left is fucking Brad Dourif? Which I would watch.
Yeah.
Brad Dourif. Killing it.
He's so good in this.
He's another one that I forgot was like in both of these. And he's so good. Even in the first one where it's like less, he's got like less screen time. It's more, a lot of it is just like him with like Loomis. But like they are so good together, like acting off each other. Also, oh yeah, Udo Kier is in the fucking first one.
Oh yeah,
I was like, God damn it, fucking everyone's in this fucking movie. But I think Brad Dourif is just like crushing it in this movie. Like, he gets to have like actual like emotional scenes. Like, he just gets to like run the gamut, and he feels like a main character less than just like the sheriff in this one that he was like in the first one. And I love it. Give Brad Dourif more roles where he's not a voice.
Yeah, put him in everything.
Yeah, he's a good actor, and he will. Even Rob Zombie was just like, I think he took this movie more seriously than anyone else. He was so fucking stoked to do this. So good for him. Brad Dourif as Lee Brackett, Oscar, give it to him this year.
Yeah, retroactive.
Yeah, just give him a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like so far all of his movies, I'm like, yeah, there's about 15 minutes I could probably cut out of this. I'd be fine with it being gone. And I feel like there's a middle chunk of this movie where I'm just like, all right, let's get back to fucking
a little draggy.
Anything else happening that's not, Laurie and her friends or whatever. Because I think that's my biggest thing in both of his is they're somehow equally like about and not about Laurie. Where like I don't think he can like make up his mind about whether Laurie is like the main character or Michael's the main character.
Yeah.
Because the first one specifically, it's like I said, it's fucking almost 50 minutes before like you get to adult Michael and like, Laurie as an adult or, high schooler or whatever she is in that movie. And in this one, it's like they cut back between them so much where I'm just like, I don't Like, I don't know. Let's either figure out the fuck's going on with Laurie, and then like Michael's just like there in the background as like a threat, or this movie's about like Michael eating dogs and shit. Like, figure out which one. That scene also rocks. So I think one of the things I do really like about this movie is like it's shot on 16 millimeter, and they're so like he does that shit where like instead of like lighting it like a regular movie, a lot of scenes are just lit by like, you know, car headlights in like the background or whatever and shit, and like
it's like natural lighting.
Yeah, like there's a lot of scenes like shit like that where like, you know, there's the scene when right before Michael kills Daniel Harris, where like it's just that cop kind of wandering around outside, where the only lighting is the actual lighting from like the house, and it looks great. Like the 16 millimeter works really well, and then like how much he uses just sort of like a natural light, I think works in his favor. And especially like I think those two scenes specifically are like the ones that come to mind, where he gets attacked by those like two fucking rednecks that he just, again, another thing I always love in a movie is somebody getting thrown into antlers.
Yes.
Always on board, because it seems
that's
horrible.
what they're there for, you know?
Like, I think about that first season of Ash vs. Evil Dead, when like the cop in the cabin gets like fucking thrown onto like the deer antlers or whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, that seems so painful. Because like they're not even in any way. I don't know, something about it just seems so fucking like, shitty.
One's going all the way through you, and then there's like 6 that are like halfway in.
Oh god. That I remember, like, because I think I saw this the weekend it came out, or maybe I saw it like you know, like the Tuesday after the weekend it came out. So like the theater was like relatively like at least half full, and I remember people being bummed the fuck out that he eats a dog in it.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know, I'm on board. I'll take it. I don't know, something about his Michael Myers works for me, where he's just like unhinged as opposed to just like this weird fucking boogeyman that just pops up all the time.
He feels like what they wanted him to be in those later Halloween movies, where they're like, oh, he's like actual evil incarnate. Tyler Mane has the presence of that.
Well, I think like the long hair just popping out of the bottom of the mask makes it feel way more like
deranged.
Yeah, like it just feels like a fucking thing a lunatic would do, as opposed to the other ones. Like he's always just like put together and like.
The mask looks less stupid, also.
Yeah. And like the first one, they do very specifically, like he will show shots throughout the movie of just like his hands, and they're just like, even when he's like in like an insane asylum or whatever, he shows like a footage of like when he's getting like walked through the asylum, they show his feet and they're just like caked in fucking dirt and like black from just how much like he just doesn't take care of himself. And then like throughout the movie, his hands just become like this unreal color of like red and like mud and whatever, to show that he's just like he's just got one thing he does, is he just kills. He's not fucking worried about like being clean and shit like that. He's just this fucking monster. And I think it like works really well for like diversion in these two. And then especially you get to this one, and like we said earlier, like every kill is so fucking like, it's like he takes it 2 steps too far with how vicious it is. Because there's like there's, you know, I feel like in a lot of the other Halloween movies, like Michael will like stab somebody once, and then or maybe twice, and then they just do that shit. Yeah, they go limp. This one, like the person will be dead, and he'll stab them 4 more times.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'll take it. I love it.
Beating a dead horse, but like for real.
That he stomps fucking dude's head in, like I can't remember if I'm trying to think. Like the one dude gets thrown on the antlers, and I feel like there's a couple people whose necks he breaks, or I guess just suffocates. Like he strangles that one girl in the van. I think that's about it. It's not like, I don't know, there's a lot of deaths compared to most of the Halloween movies, but like not as many as I thought there was, going into these.
Yeah.
Because for some reason in my mind in the first one, I was like, oh my god, he kills like 70 people in it. And I was like, oh, it's like 10. I like that they redo essentially Daniel Harris's part from the first one where he attacks her in the house, but this time he actually kills her. And I kind of like the way he films it, where like you only like it happens in sort of a slow-mo shot at the beginning, like when she goes running away, and then you just hear the audio of it, and then when like Lori finds her, you get brief flashes of it instead of just like showing it, which I felt like kind of made it like more grisly than it like would have been as just seeing it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I really like that. It's baffling to me that Danielle Harris was like 40 in this. Like, because she looks like a teenager.
Yeah, she does not look remotely 40.
Like, I think she was like 35 or some shit maybe when they shot the first one, and she's supposed to be playing a teenager. And like, I was like, yeah, I buy it. Yeah, I don't know. What were there any like standout moments for you in this? Or were there any moments that you were like, man, this is dog shit?
The shack that we had already talked about was like the best.
It's so
just
good.
the best. There's a lot of imagery I really liked, like whenever Michael's walking down the hallway and it's kind of the low camera walking to the white horse and his mom just like kind of glowing.
Oh yeah.
A lot of surreal stuff like that.
All the shit people fucking hated.
Yeah, no, I was like, all right, this is fucking weird. I like it. What does it mean? Like, where are we going? Take me on a journey.
I kind of wish there was like shit he leaned into with that a little more. I get like that, I'm sure he probably wasn't allowed. But it's kind of like oh, go ahead.
It always felt like at arm's length. Like,
yeah.
Never fully engaged with, just like, all right, well, what are we doing here? And it's like, I don't know.
Like, it's one of those things, I think the first time I watched it, I was of the mindset where I was like, I think he just did this to have Sherry in it. But then, I listened to, like, the cast commentary for Devil's Rejects, and she was like, I don't want to be in these movies. He just writes me into them, and I'm just like, all right. Like, she was like, I never really wanted to be an actor. That's like the only reason she's only in one movie besides his, and it's fucking Tobe Hooper's Toolbox Murders remake. And she was like, yeah. I didn't want to do that, and they both just like talked me into it. And so she was just like, like, and I don't know, like this.
Please stop making movies with me in them.
I feel like out of any of them that she probably was like, I'll do this. Sounds fun. Was probably the Munsters. Oh, she was like, I'm not going to be covered in dirt and fake blood throughout the entire fucking movie. I don't know. Like House of a Thousand Corpses, she's real fucking annoying in. But like, I liked her in Devil's Rejects. Like, I think she serves the more like, or the less unhinged version of Baby better.
Yeah.
And then like, I think she's good as like, and like in the first one, she's just playing like the mom. And I think she's pretty serviceable as just like that side role. And like my biggest take,
it's not fully focused on her.
Right.
Like, she's fine.
My biggest takeaway so far with these first four is I'm like, I think I owe Rob and Sherry an apology for like years of being like, what the fuck are you doing? And I know that's going to change after this. But I was like, you know what? Like, she's completely fine in these. And I don't know why I was like of the mindset of like, she is unwatchable. Why does he keep casting her? Because she's fine.
Yeah.
And like,
we've seen worse.
Yeah.
For sure.
And like Jeremy and I were talking about it with the first Halloween, where I was like, like, I feel like, I don't know if it's just like time has been better to like, at least Devil's Rejects in his Halloween movies. But I was like, you know what? Like, the amount of people that are hate on Rob Zombie need to focus their attention to Zack Snyder. Because Zack Snyder deserves the hate way more than I think Rob Zombie does. And like, Like Rob Zombie, I feel like at this point is like in his has just reached that like sort of Kevin Smith phase where like
He's just doing his own
yeah,
thing. He's not hurting
he
anyone.
makes movies with his friends.
But
He
he's also like always been like genuine about what he's into and what he wants, and has never, you know, never been any more than
yeah, I
who he shows himself to
well
be.
yeah, like I feel like
Zack Snyder's like out here acting like he's making
like
boundary pushing, like mind melting fucking cinematic
I feel like
experiences.
Zack
And it's like, bro,
Snyder.
it's Sucker Punch. You filmed half of it in slow mo. Like,
Well, that's every
it's not
movie.
crazy.
I think Zack Snyder thinks he's Christopher Nolan.
Yes.
And, and like it's just like yeah, I don't know. I just God, just he
Well,
needs to
hey,
stop.
and now he's teaming up with Dana White to film fucking propaganda videos for Saudi Arabia.
Great. Him and Michael
They're all
Bay.
gonna be in slow mo.
Him and Michael Bay could team up and make army fucking commercials. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like I know I know 31 is gonna be a fucking nightmare to get through. And like, you know, like the monsters I didn't like, but like I'm not I you know, I don't expect that to just be like where I'm watching it where I'm just like, oh please fucking end. Like I could at least tolerate that. And like
Yeah.
there's like Three from Hell I haven't seen, and Lords of Salem I'm actually interested to get to, but like I feel like you know like Rob Zombie has hit that point where he's just like I don't know they're gonna keep like they keep giving him money because he at least returns on his investment
Yeah.
each time.
Yeah, all the stuff makes money. So
Like,
why not?
You know, the Monsters I'm not sure how that works because it was a Netflix movie, but
Netflix
like
doesn't even know how that works.
yeah I know. So I'm like I don't know I'm interested to see what he does next because I feel like under the right circumstances, I feel like Rob Zombie's got like a 5-star movie in him somewhere that like if he
Yeah.
could just like I think what he needs and the thing I keep bringing up, I brought up in every episode is he needs someone to edit him on his bullshit of like just like he needs someone there
He
to
needs
just
an
tell him
actual
no
good
sometimes.
writer. An actual good writer would go
Well,
so far.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about his movies. Is
His writing,
his dialogue
sucks.
is garbage
Oh my
a lot
God.
of the time. And,
Is when you don't know what to make a person say, so they just say fuck
Yeah.
every other word.
I feel like the only person he's nailed is like Spalding and Otis, and that's just because they sound like they should be Rob Zombie characters. Like,
Right.
I think Laurie feels like less of a character in this than she does in the first one because half of the movie is just her screaming fuck. But like in the director's cut, like I said, there's more shit of her like with her therapist and like whatever where she feels more like a character, but like the theatrical cut is just her just like screaming and crying and like not really doing
Throwing
like,
up.
Yeah. Not really like doing a lot and like I don't know. I guess a Halloween movie specifically doesn't feel like it should be in his wheelhouse. Like we said, like I feel like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like
it's that gritty sepia toned kind of shit that
Yes.
he absolutely loves.
I feel like he like it doesn't even need to be tied to anything. Just let him make a general fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. And I feel like he would make one that would at least be better than that fucking 2021 one that came out or whatever year that was.
Oh yeah, whatever he makes would be better than the last like 5.
Yeah, like
for sure.
Literally anything since like at least the 2003, it'll be better than.
Yeah,
and like it would be. I feel like it would be extremely fucking violent. Like he's perfect for at least the atmosphere of it. Other than like again, I feel like he would. I don't like just like again. It comes down to like editing. He needs someone there to be like, hey, get out of your own way and like stop making all of your characters just the worst fucking Southern stereotype fucking white trash, like whatever 70s shit he's constantly doing, and like like some of the dialogue he writes for people I'm like baffled by, because I'm like, no one talks like this.
Right.
And like I don't necessarily need people to talk like real people, but I'm like he's clearly trying to make like there's shit in like Devil's Rejects with like that family in the motel or whatever, and I'm like, people don't talk like this. Like I get you can have like Otis saying the most insane shit, but I was like, everyone else should be somewhat realistic.
It's like Lori, she has the dream about Michael, and she wakes up and rolls over to talk to her stuffed animal, and she does a voice for the stuffed animal, was like, "That cocksucker Michael Myers is dead, Lori." Like, what is happening here?
So one like the first time I watched that, I was like, "Blech." But it at least like I don't know if it's any like he was like he talks about it in the commentary. He's like, no one's ever picked up on it. So the dream sequence in the hospital, like that stuffed animal's name is Buddy, and the fucking guard shack that tries to save her is named Buddy in the dream sequence. And I was like, oh, that's like at least like a cool little fucking subtle plot thing. And he was like, no one, at least, you know, when he recorded the commentary, he was like, no one has ever picked up on that, like, the one guy that's like trying to be helpful in her dream is like named the same thing as her bear.
Right.
And so I was like, I don't know, I like that. Like, he's got moments in these movies where I'm like, oh man, that's actually pretty cool. And then it's just, you know, someone comes in and talks about how he gets a lot of pussy because of his van.
Yeah.
I think that's
God damn it.
Like the fucking teenagers in these movies. And it's not even just him. Like, I feel like all of these slasher movies, I'm just like, every teenager is the fucking worst. Because, like, they're all being written by, like, 40-year-olds that forgot what it's like to be a teenager. So, like, none of them ever fucking feel like teenagers. Like, I guess, like, at least Scout in the first one was, like, 19. But I'm like, Danielle Harris is, like, 35. So, like, she looks like it, but she also feels like an adult in it. Right. And then it's, like, I guess that works better for her character at Halloween 2, because, like, she's essentially playing the mom to Laurie and Brad Dourif in it. Like, I like their scene. Like, they only get, like, maybe one scene where all three of them, that scene where they're eating pizza. But they do feel sort of like a legit family in it, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun, you know, it's fun. Like, I guess Rob Zombie talked about, like, the Lee Marvin stuff. He was like, at some point, like, there's, like, 10 minutes of footage I just let roll, where, like, it hits a point where it's just Brad Dourif explaining who Lee Marvin is to these two kids, because he's like, in real life, they didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And I was like, that's incredible. That's pretty funny.
That should be in the director's cut.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Instead of adding fucking kills, add that. Let me just see Brad Dourif explain Lee Marvin for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Cut Loomis out altogether.
Want to know.
Although Loomis's mustache, incredible in this movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's new Loomis, okay?
I like what do you think about, like, I can't remember. It's been like a minute since I've really paid attention to, like, the Donald Pleasance Loomis storyline. Was he ever, did he writes a book in those? Right? Or is he,
I don't think so.
For some reason in my mind he did, but maybe
if he does, it's
not
past Halloween 3, which is the last Halloween movie that I care about.
Yeah,
if he does it in like 4, 5, or 6, I have no idea.
I don't know why. In my mind, there's like something like that, but like, yeah, literally everything past 3.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Everything past 3 to me just blurs together, because if I watch them ever, it's like in just like I'm gonna watch like all the Halloweens over the next 2 days or some shit. And I'm just like,
they're like on TV, so I just leave it on AMC for them all to play in a row.
My preferred trilogy, 1, 3, H2. That's my Halloween timeline.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Michael Myers. You think is dead at the end of John Carpenter's one, and then all of a sudden there's some trick or treaters and some masks, and then all of a sudden Michael Myers is back and he's brutal as fuck.
You need to make it a quadrilogy and work H2O in there.
I mean, I could go for that. I'm not a.
I like H2O.
It's
It's so dumb.
It's
Rocks.
fine. Like, I think it works as like in the way a lot of those like late '90s and early 2000s slasher works on like a very like stupid level.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, if I want to watch, it's the same way like how I feel about like almost the entire Friday the 13th franchise. I'm like, these aren't necessarily good, but if I want to watch something stupid where it's just sort of like characters as cannon fodder for like a killer, I'm in. That's what I'm gonna lean to. I go for Resurrection though because Busta Rhymes is in it. What do you think about the end of this movie with like all of the shit in like the shack and then apparently Laurie in a fucking asylum at the end?
It had been losing me, so when I tuned back in for what was happening in the shack, I had no idea what the fuck was happening. It's like, because Loomis, like, walks in against Brad Dourif's orders. He's like, whatever, I don't fucking care, I got it. Don't worry about me. And he walks in and, he sees Michael holding her, and he's like, there's no one there, Laurie. And then it cuts to no one being there, and I was like, wait, what? And it's just like, it's so fucking trippy. Like I said, it's hard to feel like you have your feet underneath you throughout the movie.
Yeah, well,
since it's been playing with her dreaming and hallucinating things for the whole film.
Well, like, it's one of those things where it's like for like the first hour or so, you're just like, oh, this is just like, Michael's obviously crazy, so he's just like seeing this shit. And then it becomes a thing where it's like, no, this seems to be like a family thing where like she also can see it now. And like, again, I think it plays better in the director's cut where there's like all of this shit about like the trauma and like PTSD of like the first movie on her life and how she's like slowly like spiraling and I not into like madness, but like she's just kind of like losing it. And it just, by the time you get to the end, you're like, okay, like I could buy it. And this one, it just kind of like all of a sudden, like Laurie is also like dealing with it. And you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh no.
But I like him, stabbing Loomis 1,000 times. I'll take that. And then, but like, I don't like, I don't like her putting the mask on and like walking out and shit. And and then it just like cuts to her like, I don't know, in like a huge white room. Like the end of the director's cut, I believe also has her in that white room, but I think she sees like the mom and the horse and shit in there as well, where it's like it plays more like, oh, this is her in like her like death throes after being shot sort of thing, as opposed to like they're clearly just like, yeah, well, Laurie can't die because what if we want to make 4 more of these? Like they just do like the coward's way out slasher thing.
Yep.
And I don't know, like I respect him just being like, fuck it, all of them are dead. Even if it was just to solely be like, I'm never making another one of these. Like, I at least appreciate somebody being like, no, I didn't even want to make the second one, so like I am ending this,
done with this shit,
like in a finite way, unless you want to just make a straight up solo Brad Dourif movie next, which I would watch.
Yeah,
because I guess
that spinoff.
I guess like they had already been talking about like, yeah, so like when this does well, like what do you want to do next? And he was like, nothing. I'm killing them off. Fuck you.
Yeah. Absolutely nothing. Fuck you.
I fully fucking respect how much Rob Zombie absolutely fucking hates the Weinsteins.
Yeah.
And, seems like he was right the whole time, because at least one of them seems like a real piece of shit. I don't think, well, because, in the commentary, they're not going to let him fucking keep that in. He starts bashing the Weinstein. He just keeps saying production. But, I guess in, years since, he's been on, podcasts and shit, just talked about how much he was just, they were the absolute worst thing I've ever had to deal with in my career.
Yeah, that makes 100% sense.
Because, again, it sounds like... I don't understand why the heads of these movie studios like hire people to make movies for them and then just micromanage the absolute fuck out of them endlessly.
No, I'm not good.
And I'm like, you hired, let's let them fucking like make the movie. I understand, like, it's like I do understand the idea of like, hey, we have a franchise going here, so like at least don't kill off these two main people or whatever. But like everything else, just be like, yeah, just go make your fucking art. We hired you, we believe you could do this. Like, I still think the story of them showing him clips from Halloween 1 and being like, yeah, bro, I made that movie. I know. Why are you showing me this? It's so funny. Like, make it more like this.
I'm aware.
What's this? Why? It's also, I guess, it's probably just a thing where, like, we're seeing it a lot more now with, like, the prevalence of, like, AI art and these dipshits where, like, these people just don't fucking respect art. They just, like, what's going to make us the most money? Hire that person. So, like, I absolutely see them watching dailies from this movie or whatever, being like, what the fuck is this? Because, like I said, like, say what you want about, like, what you feel about these. Like, as far as, like, an artistic stamp on something like this, like, out of all of his movies, this is the fucking weirdest and the one that feels like the biggest, like, artistic swing in his career. And I don't know, I appreciate it. Do you have like any final, I guess, things on this?
It has got me pretty eager to watch Lords of Salem.
Yeah,
because I've seen so many people that are like, if you slapped an A24 logo on Lords of Salem, like people would fucking eat it up. And this definitely has that heavy atmospheric weirdness to it that I definitely tend to associate with A24.
Yeah.
So it's got me real eager to check that one out. But I think it was much more interesting than I was thinking it would be. It's almost got me wanting to rewatch some of his movies. Almost.
I mean, I would say just if you want, like, just throw on like Devil's Rejects, if anything.
Yeah,
it like
ease back in.
It was funny. So I had John Michael on that for that one, the guy that did like our theme and all that shit, and he had never seen a Rob Zombie movie before. And like I was like under the impression, I was like, oh, he's probably at least seen like whatever. He was like, no, this is my first one. And he was like, I didn't realize it was a sequel to something. And so he was like, I got a lot of questions about like Rob Zombie movies, and I'm like, well, I can answer probably some of them. Yeah. And he was like, I'm so confused. He was like, this is like pretty good. Like, I'm not saying this was bad. Like, and I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, honestly, like, I was like, Halloween 2 is probably, I think, the one I think is my favorite of his because it's weird. But I was like, overall, Devil's Rejects is probably his most like realized.
Yeah, like, the most well-rounded. Yeah, like oh, this is a movie,
right? But I was like, I don't know. You got the one that is just like nothing fun is happening in it ever. It's all just like, I guess outside of Ken Foray as like the sort of like pimp character, I was like, no, everyone in it is just like the worst. It's just bad shit happening to people all the time. It's like, I forgot how just endlessly fucking harsh and bleak that movie is.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I saw that in a theater and I was like, as I was watching it, I was like, I had like the memory of how fucking deathly silent that theater was.
It's one of those ones that you see when you're young enough, and it's like, this feels like an illegal thing.
Oh, dude, like
I should not be watching.
There's moments of it that do feel sort of snuff filmish. That like I'm sure is the point, but it's like everything in that motel scene is so fucking dark. And it's just like, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Sorry if this is your first one. But he's like, I don't know. He's like, it's got me interested in watching some of the other ones. And I was like, well, cut out after either the Halloweens. Because I was like, I said the same thing. I was like, everyone tells me Lords of Salem is good. But I was like, I can promise you everything after that is not.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like, well, I think one of the, like, the things that, like, the thing that really dawned on me as I've been watching these is, like, it feels like his career really got impacted by like just the way like Hollywood has started working in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he got sort of ground up into the fucking that like this 2007 to 2009 with these two Halloween movies of like the how prevalent just everything was a horror remake in those like before like the
Yeah,
2010s.
the platinum
Yeah,
dooms.
and then it just seems like it became a thing where like every horror movie until the last couple years has been like, I don't know, here's like $2 million, go make your garbage, we'll fucking dump it in like August or what, like, because like Three from Hell feels like a movie that should have been a bigger deal than it was, and like I feel like it was one of those ones where maybe it had like a Fandango like 2-day fucking specific screening, but then just got like dumped to Shudder, and it's kind of wild to me that like something like one of those like one of the Devil's Rejects movies was just sort of like basically dumped to streaming, even though like
Yeah,
like I said, it seems like everyone's consensus is it's not good, but like
it seemed like it was a popular enough thing where that could have like been released theatrically and had a sustained run instead of like, oh hey, we're shooting this, here it is,
yeah,
bye.
like it's just I don't know. It seems like he's like just been sort of like relegated to he's just like a direct to video director now. Kind of
Yeah,
feels like, because it's just like he's not making like essentially like A24 movies, and
yeah,
that's or like Blumhouse, like that's just
yeah.
kind of like the thing now, and it just feels like he's not. I am interested if he even has anything in the works, because it feels like he doesn't he did he was like releasing a movie like every 2 to 3 years, it feels like, because if he has 9 movies since 2003, like he had like a pretty steady schedule of like stuff coming out every couple years or so, and I
Yeah.
feel like I haven't heard anything about him doing anything since the Munsters. And like I
Yeah.
feel like the Munsters did pretty well. Like everyone besides me seemed to really enjoy it. So like I'm surprised that like it doesn't seem like he has anything else really going on, unless he's just been doing like music stuff. Like outside of White
Yeah,
Zombie, I
I feel
do
like
not pay attention to his.
I feel like he's been touring a lot the past several years, so it might be that.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. Like I've said, as much as like I've slacked on him as like a director and shit, like he genuinely seems like he's like a good dude. And so he's like not somebody I really want to shit on, whereas like Zack Snyder just seems like a real fucking dummy, so I'm no problem just
Yeah,
being like,
he
dude, you
deserves
suck.
it.
Like, I don't know, Rob Zombie I've never really heard anything like negative about, and he just seems like a pretty good dude. So
Yeah.
oh, I like he's somebody like I want to root for, and like I will actively watch when he releases something or he pops up on something. Like like I fucking love when he's in like a documentary, because I feel like if anything he's a really good like horror movie talking head.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. Rob Zombie, just make just like
Give him a chance.
I brought this up every episode, but he at one point was like attached to direct a Groucho Marx biopic, and I wanted that to happen so bad because I want to see him do something outside of his like all like his aesthetic or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I want to see him do something that's not this,
Branch out a little.
yeah, like Devil's Rejects style fucking grimy dark road movie or whatever the fuck shit he has going on. Cuz like I feel like I don't know, I feel like he could make something interesting and like or at least have an interesting take on something outside of like the horror genre. And that's kind of what I want to see, cuz there was that, and then he was attached to do like a uh fuck, what is the name of that? It was like some fucking hockey team. I keep forgetting the name of it. Like something Brawlers maybe.
Well, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not a hockey person. I feel like I've had 2 episodes I can remember what it was, and 2 episodes I've fucking like what was the name of that shit? It was apparently some like hockey team that like at whatever period in the 70s was like well known for being like really brutal.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want to see him do something like outside of horror. I think. I guess he had like at some point he was supposed to be making a movie called Tyrannosaurus Rex. That I don't know what that was, but if he was making a dinosaur movie, I'm in.
Yeah. Let him make that.
Like,
I want that.
just I need to see him do something outside of the horror genre, just because I want to see if he can do it. You know, like
Yeah.
I would absolutely go see. Oh wait, the Broad Street Bullies. That's what it was about. The Philadelphia Flyers and like some
Oh, okay.
period.
Yeah.
And I
Like 70s,
like
late 60s, early 70s.
I feel like as well as he shoots violence, I feel like something like that would be pretty interesting to
Perfect
see.
for him.
And I would like to see that, but that never happened. So I don't know. I gotta watch El Super Beasto next, and that's another one I'm interested in because I don't think I'm gonna like it, but at least it's different than
Yeah. His normal sepia tone.
everything else. Because
Grit.
in my memory of it, as I think it's the guy that did like Ren and Stimpy, so it's gonna look like that, and I'm like, blah. But maybe it'll be funny. We'll see. All right. I don't have to ask you. Hey, promote shit. You would tell people where they find I Hope You Suffer.
Yeah. IHopeYouSuffer.com.
Yeah,
We're blowing up.
yeah.
We got a website. That's not true.
We also have a website that has zero protocols to it, like the Doge website, so people could just upload their own shit to it.
Just hack it.
That'll make sense maybe in like a month when this is released.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll be back next week with next week whenever I release these with Lori from Queer Horror Cult talking about the something long title El Super Beasto animated thing.
Hell yeah.
All right, I hope you have the devil's eyes, the blackest eyes. But why? Hey, till that motorcycle, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, fucking, it's my neighbor again.
Oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day from me and Kit. And Rob Zombie.
Yeah.